We begin, though, with the war in Ukraine. The Biden administration announced new sanctions against Russia as we mark 1 year now since Moscow's invasion of Ukraine.
The White House also announced more aid for Ukraine, which includes funding for economic support. The aid cannot come soon enough, as Russian strikes overnight left people in Kherson without heat. Officials expect repairs will take several days.
Meanwhile, in Poland, the nation delivered the first of 14 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. The nation promises to deliver the rest over the next few weeks. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Charlie Daggett joins us now from Kyiv. And Charlie, on one hand, you could say that the fact that Ukraine's been able to fight off Russia for a year is significant. I would imagine the mood, though, among people that you've spoken with recently is one of exhaustion, considering the fight continues. Talk to us about how people there are feeling today.
Yeah, Errol, exhaustion is a good way to describe it. Solemn today. President Zelensky was out on the streets of Kyiv, which in itself is an act of defiance, considering this is a country at war and he is a main target in this conflict. It was a very short, brief memorial service where he paid tribute to the fallen soldiers, the thousands who have died in this conflict, and admiration for the courageous fighters, largely volunteer fighters, who are still engaged in this fight. And there's nothing to celebrate here aside from the fact that they haven't been defeated. And those are his words, not mine. There's an invincibility among Ukrainians. So they are proud that they have stood this long. Certainly in Kyiv itself, which was defended in the early days of this conflict. You know, we were here, everybody was expecting, we hear it all the time now, everybody's expecting Kyiv to fall within 96 hours. Kyiv still stands. Look, when you were in the middle of it, that really was a reality. You saw those tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people fleeing from the capital because the Russians came within 15 miles or so of the city itself, and there were airstrikes and cruise missiles that were happening day after day, and there was every indication that that was going to happen. So there's no cause for celebration here, but there's a recognition for their ability and their resilience in fighting back the Russian offensives around Kyiv itself and pushing the Russian military back in areas like Kharkiv. You mentioned Kherson and along the front line, but this is a grind. This fight goes on. They've lost so many people. Millions have been displaced both within this country and refugees in other countries. There's nothing to celebrate here aside from their own survival.
An enormous toll, as you point out, Charlie. We know that the first modern tanks are finally being delivered to Ukraine. Tell us about that and how that helps change the dynamic on the ground for Ukraine.
Yeah, Elaine, today is all about symbolism. You know, when we talk about 4 tanks or 14 tanks, or, you know, the Brits are going to be supplying 12 or 15 Challenger tanks. United States will be providing some Abrams tanks. More important are the Bradley fighting vehicles. What this really means is what it predicts for the future, because as the Ukrainians are going into a new phase of the combat. In the early days, they were talking about anti-tank weapons, javelins. These are shoulder-launched javelins, anti-helicopter weapons. Those were fundamental in the defense at that phase of the conflict. But now what we're seeing is the artillery, more than anything, even more than the tanks, even more than the F-16s, which of course have been requested from the Ukrainians, and they're fully confident that those are going to be delivered. As they enter the next phase, they are running out of ammunition for that artillery because it has become an artillery war. The tanks are going to be vitally important. Not necessarily now, but in March, April. The Ukrainians would love to have them now, love to have these tanks in position. But as everybody is expecting this Russian offensive to start in a meaningful way, those tanks and that artillery, all of those sets, the HIMARS, the long-reaching, this $2 billion military aid package that has been promised. It's all about delivery. President Zelensky said it again today. He continues to say it. Speed, speed, speed. We need these weapons here as quickly as they need these weapons here as quickly as possible.
Which again speaks to why this 1 year anniversary is so solemn, to your point, Charlie, because the war continues. No end in sight. We appreciate you joining us today live there from Ukraine.